His deep appreciation of the arts was just one of the vast array of qualities and abilities that informed and guided his extraordinary life. Dal Grauer is regarded as one of the most brilliant men of his generation. He had an enormous influence on business, education, and culture.
He was a local boy made good. He came with extremely enviable credentials.
The story of his life is legendary.
Got a teaching fellowship down at University of California and a PhD there. And while he was there, he was appointed the Rhodes Scholar for BC.
During the height of the Depression, the University of Toronto was keen to hire him. They did, but he was quickly recruited away. BC Electric offered him the job of a lifetime. At just 33 years of age, he was offered a position that would see him become president by the time he was 40. Over the next 15 years, he pulled together the team and resources needed to bring natural gas from the Peace to the Lower Mainland, oil to Tidewater. He pioneered an underwater transmission cable to Vancouver Island, and he tripled hydroelectric power generation.
He had a great strategic vision. There was a major project, Bridge River project, that had been envisioned decades earlier, and as soon as he became president and chairman of BC Electric, he got that project going, doubling the power capacity of the system and enabling what became tremendous growth for business.
He was a corporate titan, a man of vision whose principles were in lockstep with community values. His contributions to the Vancouver Symphony, Vancouver General Hospital, and to UBC are just a sampling of his commitment to building a better home for all.
He really felt that you had to give back. You couldn't just take.
In addition to leading BC Electric into the future, Dal Grauer also enthusiastically answered the call from the federal government when he was asked to join the Gordon Commission on Canada's economic prospects.
He thought about all of the different aspects of economic development in British Columbia, from agricultural to commercial to industrial, and he thought about how to use the system in order to actually create that opportunity.
As the 50s closed, economic development was exploding into the north. That growth presented Grauer with his biggest challenge, and surprisingly it came from the Premier, who wanted to dam the Peace River rather than rely on power supplied from the Columbia River Treaty Agreement. As a result, Premier Bennett decided to nationalize BC Electric.
To provide power to get people to move there and so on. Now, all of that, from a policy point of view, is entirely understandable and defensible. From a balance sheet point of view of reporting to your shareholders, it makes no sense at all, because it's not necessary and you have to raise all that capital privately.
Sadly, Dal Grauer was diagnosed with leukemia. Despite the fatal diagnosis, he was not willing to easily concede BC Electric to the government.
When he was sick at the end and in bed, he never did give up.
The frustration, I think, as he became very ill, and is that he wasn't strong enough to do anything about it.
BC Hydro came to life on the day Dal Grauer was being remembered in the church across the street from the power station that still bears his name. His legacy continues.
He had an enormous influence in a number of areas. Taxation policy was one. Education was another. In terms of the city of Vancouver, he had an extraordinary influence in architecture and development. And then, of course, the development of the province through the development of power and hydro and gas and oil.
His legacy is really found in the thriving, business and economic development of BC today.